Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to build a floating block above the ground, quite simply. It's a fantastic base, especially in survival, because you're 3 blocks off the ground. So your mobs are 2 blocks high, and then you've got a block of headspace above your mobs, which keeps you perfectly safe. It's very simple design. All it is, if you can imagine, is an oblong tube with a glass wall at either end. So you can see when it's dark and you can see when it's light, and you can see all those horrible mobs lurking around outside. Now I've decorated mine as sort of a bachelor or a bachelorette pad. So we've got a little living area and an ensuite bathroom and bedroom. But you can make yours into anything you like. So as you can see here, it's literally just floating above the ground. It'll be 1 block above the heads of all your mobs. And the way that I do the lighting is I put lighting blocks in. There are several different blocks that you can use now. And then I put carpet above those blocks so that you still gain the light, but you don't actually see them. And it also lights up the ground underneath the cube, which is another great way of keeping the mobs away. So what I'll do is I'll go 3 blocks high, and then on top of that I'll build my cube. So I'm going to make mine slightly oblong so that I can have 2 rooms. But as I said, you can make yours as big or as small as you like, and you don't have to have just a simple cube. You could add more cubes to your cube. So you could have an upstairs, or you could have a annex to the side. Perhaps you're building for you and your family or your friends, and you all want your own space. But as long as you're floating 3 blocks above the ground, you'll be perfectly safe. Also, you can make this out of any block that you've got. Maybe you've got an excess of ground or mud or something similar. It doesn't have to be out of white quartz. It could be out of anything. So there we have it. It's our oblong with a glass wall at either end. And you can see the light underneath the cube across the bay. First off, we'll decide where we're going to put our door. And then from there we can decide whereabouts we think the carpet's going to be. We can put our cubes in the ceiling. I like to go around the edges, then I can cover it with stair bricks to create like a coving effect, just to give it a little bit of interest on the ceiling. But it also lights up upstairs. So if you were to put a 2nd floor in, there's your light. And if not, that stops the spiders spawning on your roof. And then we'll pop our light blocks in the floor, and that lights up underneath the building as well as within. And here goes the coving. Now you have to bear with me, because with stair blocks, it doesn't seem to matter how often I use them, I always make mistakes. There we go. As you can see, I've covered those up, so you'll still benefit from the light outside, but the lighting is discreet. Everything's hidden. See, there we go. There we go. Oops. Oops. And finally, oops. Just when I thought I got it right. Nope. There we go. Nearly there. I think the sun's coming up. Now I've based this block east to west, so I get the sunrise in the morning. Absolutely delightful. there's the moon going down. And obviously, when the evening comes, I get the sunset. So I get the best of both worlds. Now I put a little walkway in with steps going up. Now you don't have to do it like this, you could do it any way you like. What I normally do is I put a little trapdoor in so I can open the trapdoor, and then anybody walking along the walkway will fall through the floor. And I put sidings to my walkway so that people are forced to walk along my walkway. I go too high, or mobbed rather, but you don't have to do it like this. You could have an upstand with a ladder, and you could jump from that upstand onto your trapdoor so that anybody or any mob going up that upstand with the ladder wouldn't think to jump across, and then they'd just fall off the top. And here I'm going to put a trapdoor in as well to act as a sort of secondary lock. So you have to open the trapdoor to actually walk onto the walkway. There we go. So I've got 3 barriers or 3 defences on my entrance to my house. I've got the initial trapdoor, which acts as a lock. I've got the trapdoor, which acts as a trap. And I've got my actual door. And now I'm going to put in these black glass blocks to create a partition between the living area and the bedroom. But as I said, you'll be building this in survival. You're probably going to want a living area, perhaps with a bed in it, and you're going to want to put furnaces in it and various other things. Maybe you've got an enchanting room. Maybe you're going to build a ladder going up to the ceiling and put a little room upstairs and have your bedroom up there. Because it's such a simple shape, it's so easy to adapt to what you need and to who you're sharing with. Maybe you're sharing with your family, maybe you're sharing with your friends. And there's my bath, and this is my toilet, and I'll put a little button on top for the flush and a lever for the tap. And now I'm going to put some carpet on the floor, and you'll see how I cover up the lights. And they're very discreet, you don't know they're there other than the fact that it lights up the room. So you won't lose the light. All you're doing is covering it up so you can't see it. And this of course will stop the mobs spawning within your building, because it'll be nice and bright. Another good thing for using for flooring is trapdoors. They make a nice light flooring, and they cover up light sources as well, while still letting the light through. And there are so many different sorts of wood now, such lovely colours too. And now this is our dining table, and I like using different items for upstands, so chain works really well. And this is our tabletops. See, it looks very modern. And then we need to put a corner sofa in. Make the most of that lovely view. Whoops, stairs again. The dreaded stairs. And then we finish off the carpet and cover up the rest of the light sources. But you'll see when the sun goes down, you don't lose the light. All you're doing is really covering it up to make it look nice and discreet. And a simple way of decorating and adding a little bit of texture is just to put some banners up. I haven't done any printing on these banners, I'm just going to put plain banners up to stick with the black and white and grey colour scheme that I've been using. I love banners, I love the way they move. Oops, too low. A little bit higher. There we go. There we have the ensuite and the living area. And the night time's falling, and you can see we haven't lost any light inside. So that's all we're going to do for today. It's just a simple cube with a glass end, and you could fill it with anything you want, and you can make it as big as you like, and you can add to it, and it would be fantastic for all your friends, and you're perfectly safe because you're above the ground. Now if you liked the video, please do like and subscribe. It means the world to me, and I'd love to see you back here again soon. So take care, and if you want to leave a comment, please do. Be kind. Bye bye.